I'm going to take you behind the scenes of the Lizzie Borden trial.
What were you doing in the kitchen when your father came home?
I think I was eating a pear when he came.
Listen how the district attorney gets Lizzie to admit she was alone in the house with Abby Borden.
A large portion of the time after your father went away, and before he came back, so far as you know, you were alone in the house.
Maggie had come in and gone upstairs.
After he went out, and before he came back, a large portion of the time after your father went out, and before he came back, so far as you know, you were the only person in the house.
So far as I know, I was.
And during that time, as far as you know, the front door was locked.
Hey, Lizzie! I'm still here! I'm waiting for you!
I began to wash the window next to the front door. I'd not seen anyone since I saw Lizzie at the screen door. Then I heard like a person at the door was trying to unlock the door, but could not. So I went to the front door and unlocked it.
So Andrew had his key but couldn't get in because Lizzie must have switched them.
The spring lock was locked. I unbolted the door, and it was locked with a key. There were 3 locks. I said, PSHAW! And Miss Lizzie laughed upstairs.
So if Lizzie was upstairs, then she could see Abby Borden's dead body laying on the floor.
Lizzie! Lizzie! There's the murderess! Oh, I do hope that they hang her.
Her father was out there on the doorstep. She was upstairs.
You nailed it. Was Bridget in on it? She had to have known what was going on.
Do you remember anything more that Miss Lizzie said?
I do not remember.
Anything about the cemetery?
Oh, yes. She said that she would have to go to the cemetery herself. I said, "Oh, no. The undertaker will attend to everything for you."
And oddly enough, that's the same thing she told Alice when they were going up the steps, like she was reading from a script.
Do you remember how Lizzie was dressed when she was standing there?
I think she had a cotton dress on, calico.
Can you describe it any better than that?
I think the color was blue.
And this is the same dress material that Lizzie admitted to buying before the murders. And look at the size of this apron. They found 2 bloody aprons in the autopsy clothes.
Miss Emma Borden came to my room about 20 minutes to 9 o'clock on the 24th day of August. And I let her in, and she spoke to her sister Lizzie. And I left the 2 women talking together, and I went into a toilet room about 4 feet from where Miss Lizzie Borden was lying on a couch. And I heard very loud talk. And I came to my door, and it was Miss Lizzie Borden. She was lying on her left side, and her sister Emma was talking to her and bending right over her. Lizzie says, "Emma, you have gave me away, haven't you?" She says, "No, Lizzie, I have not." "You have," she says, "and I will let you see I won't give in 1 inch."
Now this argument caused a huge drama behind the scenes for the defense.
She sat right up and put up her finger, and I stood in the doorway looking at both of them. I could not hear what Miss Emma said, only, "I did not, Lizzie. I did not give you away, Lizzie," she says.
Apparently it had something to do with the drug testimony of Eli Bence, the pharmacist, and they didn't speak for 2 hours.
She says, "You have." I could not hear what Miss Emma said, only, "I did not, Lizzie. I did not give you away, Lizzie." She says, "You have."
Now that's the closest thing we're going to get to a confession, and that happened the day before the prelim. Begin.
It appears, upon the testimony of Professor Wood, that an examination of the stomachs of the deceased persons showed no traces of any poison whatever, or anything but a normal condition. Certainly not any prussic acid.
Now Lizzie was obsessed with poisons and even had a book of poison recipes in full view on her bookshelf. I am sure that Abby Borden lived in great fear of her. And I would like to get all of this recorded for history.
No, sir, there were not hard words. It was simply a difference of opinion.
You have been on pleasant terms with your stepmother since then.
Yes, sir.
Cordial?
It depends upon one's idea of cordiality.
According to
perhaps.
your idea of cordiality.
We were friends.
Even Abby Borden herself ran to Dr. Bowen's the day before the murders and said they were being poisoned.
Very friendly.
Cordial, according to your idea of cordiality.
Did you see her before you got in?
I saw her as I went in, but I stood at the foot of the bed and looked at her.
Was the door open then into the room?
It took me a year of study before I realized that Bridget was in on it.
Had there been any sickness in the family before that Thursday that you know of?
Mrs. Borden came down and asked me if I heard they were sick all night. I said no. She said her and Mr. Borden were sick all night, taken with vomiting.
Lizzie tried to take advantage of a massive heat wave that occurred before the murders that killed 95 people, but what really did them in was the swordfish they ate 24 hours prior to the murders.
Did you hear Miss Lizzie say anything about being sick too?
Yes, sir.
What did she say?
Now this is where Lizzie and Bridget got their stories mixed up, because Lizzie told Alice the night before that Bridget was the only one that wasn't sick.
How long should you say Miss Lizzie had been ironing when you went upstairs?
I could not say how long it was.
As near as you can tell.
Probably about 8 or 9 minutes.
When you went upstairs?
Yes, sir.
The DA was comparing the timeline between Bridget and Lizzie to see if Bridget was complicit.
We were talking in the afternoon, me and Lizzie Borden, and I says, I can tell you one thing you can't do. And she says, tell me what it is, Mrs. Reagan. I says, break an egg, Miss Borden. And she says, break an egg?
You must check out this awesome website.
In the afternoon, someone fetched Lizzie an egg, and Miss Emma Borden was sitting down beside her. And I told Miss Emma Borden to get a little ways away, because I said, if she will break the egg the wrong way, it will destroy your dress. She did get the egg, and she got it in her hands, and she couldn't break it. And she says,
I think Lizzie broke the hatchet the night before the murders and made that loud banging noise, and then she rubbed it with ashes, and then she threw it in that old toolbox, and Bridget led them right to it. Now, I know you hate me for saying this, but I think Bridget had to have been there to help Lizzie pull this off.
there, she says, that is the first thing I undertook to do that I never could.
Lizzie! Lizzie!
Sealskin capes do not require cleaning by poison. They are naturally repellent to insects.
Sealskin capes were all the rage back then if you could afford one.
If your sealskin cape is infested with vermin, then you should return it to your furrier. Good day, miss.
Lizzie! Lizzie! Over here!
I would tend to that garden.
What shoes did you have on that day?
A pair of ties, black.
Will you give them to the officer?
Yes.
I love these hot, sexy shoes. A good time to have asked for them would have been on the day of the murders and not a week later at the inquest.
Did you buy a dress pattern in New Bedford?
A dress pattern?
Yes, a pattern.
I think I did.
Where is it?
Home.
Where at home?
In a trunk.
Not made up?
No, sir.
You know how it goes. You buy one pattern, but you make two dresses.
Where did you buy it?
I don't know the name of the store.
What kind was it?
It was a blue striped corded gingham.
That is the same dress Mrs. Churchill testified seeing Lizzie wear.
Did you go into any drugstore and inquire for prussic acid?
I did not.
So then why did you tell Alice Russell that someone was trying to poison Andrew?
Where were you on Wednesday morning?
At home.
All day?
All day until Wednesday night.
Nobody there except you, your parents, and the servant.
Why, Mr. Morse came sometime in the afternoon.
You know those weird uncles that never change their clothes and they just show up out of the blue? Well, that's him. He didn't do it because if he had, he would have been covered in blood.
But I did not see him.
He did not come to see you?
No, sir.
Did you go into the drugstore for any purpose whatsoever?
I did not.
But then I suppose you don't think it matters that 3 people that work in the pharmacy saw you in there and heard you ask for poison.
You said yesterday that you did not go into the room when your father lay after he was killed on the sofa, but only looked in at the door.
I only looked in.
Did you ever, after your mother was found killed, go into that room?
No, sir.
You came down in the night with Miss Russell to get some water.
Thursday night? I don't remember it.
Don't you remember coming down sometime to get some toilet?
Now, this is when I think Lizzie went down to the basement by herself, took the bloody apron, and put it inside the autopsy clothes, unaware that the cops were outside writing everything down.
Or... No, sir, there was no toilet water down.
Or to empty the slops?
I'm not sure.
Was the dress that was given to the officers the same dress that you wore that morning?
She is so full of it.
Yes, sir.
The India silk?
No, it was not India silk. It is silk and linen. Some call it Bengaline silk.
Now, no proper lady would wear her beautiful shopping dress first thing in the morning. So there you go. There's my feedback about the Lizzie Borden trial, and I'll see you later.